Did you start recording it?
I don't think so.
I should probably look.
Yup! So I guess it's fall. It's a special magical time of year when the leaves start to change and the days grow shorter and nights grow colder and white people are obsessed with pumpkin spice things. For us at Rooster Illusion, October is kind of a sacred holiday where we get to go around and drink in excess and watch really bad horror movies. And this week, as per kind of my tradition with the website, I watched a movie adaptation of a horror video game. Past year I did Resident Evil, past year I did House of the Dead, I think last year I did Alone in the Dark. And this year we watched the movie Doom. And I think I should first start out by saying that Doom is 2 hours long.
Yeah, that's a pretty long movie.
And it feels its length. So, Shane, you want to tell us what Doom is about? Do your best, I guess.
Yeah, it's The Rock and a bunch of Marines from space going into Mars to kill these people with extra chromosomes. Make sure they don't get out.
Yeah.
Not about
That's
this.
that's the horrific part. I think that's the problem with the movie is that it's really hard to. On the surface, it's space marines respond to a distress signal on Mars.
Yeah.
People are infected. Like they were doing a genetic research on this virus that adds an extra chromosome pair to people, and that makes them monsters and/or super soldiers.
Wow.
But it stars The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Obama Barack Johnson as a space marine. This is one of his first roles.
He hasn't back in there.
You were saying after
Still The Rock.
the Scorpion King, when he was still credited as The Rock instead of Dwayne Johnson. This was 2005.
Yeah.
So it was shortly after The Mummy 2, which was like his big starting role.
Yeah, 2005.
And I don't know, you were making fun of The Rock, but I find him endearing.
It was obviously one of his first things. He never really.
It shows, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows.
You could definitely tell he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
But I think he's
That's
charismatic, and
2002.
I honestly believe, given the right script and the right
2002.
movie... so this, 2002.
So
Right
right
now,
now,
No, Scorpion King was 2002. This was 2005.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Pain and Gain, I liked him in. I will defend Walk Tall.
I liked Walk Tall.
I like it. It's got a soft spot in my heart. I don't know quite why, because it's bad. But I think The Rock is endearing. He's not in this, though.
Got a problem with that, Duke?
Me sauce? Hell no. I love my job.
What's up, son?
I can't quite put my finger on why. I think the movie is bad, but it's the worst kind of bad. I've watched a lot of bad movies for this website.
Son, you are now in the Rapid Response Tactical Squad, the double RTS.
And I think what separates a good bad movie from a bad movie is that it goes to the extreme. It crosses some sort of weirdness line and it becomes so terrible that it's fun to watch. Like Snow Day was that. Sasquatch on the Mountain was that. Doom is so bad it's forgettable. When we were talking about what bad horror movie to watch, I suggested Blood Rain by Uwe Boll, and I think you brought up Doom, and I forgot the movie existed. Despite the fact that I like The Rock and I like Carl Urban, I forgot that this movie was a thing. And it's an interesting thing. We were talking about why it got made, and I believe it's because, first off, you had The Rock, you had Carl Urban,
Doom 3
you had Rosamund Pike
Oh, yeah?
from
babe.
Gone Girl, and it was a recognizable property. Doom was probably the beginning of the first-person shooter genre, and it had the grizzled space marine, and it was the 2000s, so that was the kind of thing they were going to.
Yeah, it was released in 2004, was Doom 3.
Doom 3. So it was after this.
Yeah.
But Doom was a recognizable property before that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is only slightly related to the video game Doom. So Doom is about a space marine who goes to a base on Mars, and these scientists accidentally open up a portal to hell, and demons get through, and the space marines fight that. A really simple premise. It was in the 1990s, the 80s, I think, actually, or late 80s, early 90s, and that was it. And this movie is fucking irritating because it's very far removed from that premise, but it still tries to throw in references. It's not about demons. Really, this movie is it's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they transformed it. I mean, like, that's the thing. I mean, I think what would have made it a really good bad movie is if they had actually just full on, like, just gone with it. Like, attempted to try to work through this idea of that they somehow open a portal to hell and all these demons get through and possess the scientists and stuff. And because the whole game was based around this idea that, you know, the possessed scientists became like what we see in here as like the zombies per se, and then the other ones became like the creatures were just actual demons that got through the portal.
So to go back, this is basically the Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, it's basically
It is a virus infects people in an underground base. It looks exactly like that. It's got the same sounding soundtrack.
But sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes there's things it's like it does
Sometimes it doesn't.
It goes into Doom. Like sometimes it does go into
monsters.
Doom, but then it slips back into like this idea of virus.
Generic
Virus movie.
We were trying to explain just how the virus
Effects.
is.
Yeah.
And it's really needlessly complex.
Based on your
But it's
goodness, right?
basically, if you get infected by this virus and you are a bad person, you turn into a monster. If you're a good person, you turn into some kind of super soldier.
You can jump 6 feet in the air.
Yeah, you become Carl Urban.
You become Carl Urban. Hey, that is a superpower.
Yeah.
And it's baffling, and it's confusing, and it's boring, and I forget 90% of the movie. And I think the only thing I remember is like the whole gimmick thing. So when this first came out, they were selling it as there's a segment of this movie that is like a first-person shooter. It's just like the Doom video game. It's all shot from first person, and it's I kind of got excited for that, knowing that the gimmick was there, and it's one of the few things I remember, but it really overstayed its welcome. The sequence goes on for about 5-10 minutes, and I got tired of it after the first minute. And I was saying also, there is, I forget the name of the movie, but a recent movie was released that it's like a kung fu parkour movie that's also done in entirely first person. And it could have added something to it outside of another reference to Doom, which they're full of. Like the Psycho remake with Elijah Wood. It's entirely first person. It does a lot. But this is just, Doom was a first person game. This is first person, you know? This is the same thing. Yeah.
There's I mean, and here's the other thing, like it slows down, which doesn't make any sense. Like the whole sequence
Never
just
picks up.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is like even the movements are like, did you ever see like one of those arcade basically a light gun arcade cabinet, like the old cop one, or like you'd be walking through the tunnels and like House of the Doom and stuff, where it's sort of like
It's basically that. Yeah, that's what it is.
It slows, you know how like it slows down, and it's so that like you as a person can register the things happening on the screen and shoot at them and react to them, so you can kill them. But this is a fucking movie, you know, but I mean the whole like the screen gets that haziness to it. Everything slows down for like the reactor of the like.
And I don't know if that was purposeful, if they were trying to go for the tone of those games, or if it was just sloppy
CGI
movie making.
Yeah, probably both.
Probably a little bit. Or I mean, I could say that it was bewildering for a while. It was confusing. There was a lot of motion. So to slow it down, I can see. I'm okay with that. But the point is that the movie was riding on that gimmick, and
they had him act like Doom people.
It was really bad. I didn't like it.
Well, yeah, because the one comes down and the guy laughs. Like, there's one part where, like, some of them are, like, actually just, the zombie people running after him, and he shoots them. And then there was one who just turns around, the guy's like, heh, 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 and then he blows his head off. And I'm like, that's definitely something that happens in the game. You
mentioned how it rips off of Doom, which is references, ham-fisted references. It also rips wholesale from the movie Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
We noticed in like their whole like lock and load montage in the beginning, it is exactly like the lock and load montage from Aliens.
Yeah.
Even the assault rifles are the pulse rifles from Aliens. They are completely down to that. It's like a more forgettable Aliens with The Rock in it. And it underutilizes the sci-fi aspect to it. Because it's not horror, and it's not sci-fi, and the horror is really bad. But they're on Mars, and I kept forgetting that. I didn't know when they were going back to Earth, when they were going back to Mars, because everything takes place inside the same metallic underground tunnels. And I think they could have done a lot more with that, because the only reason now that it's set on Mars is because the game Doom was set on Mars, and they gotta make sure they get them references in.
The Rock dies on Mars. That's what you need to know about. That's all you need to know.
I'm not gonna say spoilers. I don't care. If you didn't see it in 2005, don't watch it.
Yeah, you don't want to see it anyways.
Go watch any of the other movies with The Rocks.
Yeah, Rock.
The one thing I hate, now that we're talking about horror, is that it kept doing what's called a cat scare. So it's like the film builds up to this horrific scare, like some monster's gonna pop out, and oh no, it's something harmless, like a cat, like an alien. And this kept doing that. It would do it every 10 minutes, and you don't get more than one, filmmakers. You get to have one cat scare. You can do it, and that's, whoa, okay. You got us, all right. It was just like a metal tubing, but you can't keep doing that. You owe it to show us the monster after a certain amount of time. Otherwise, it just cheapens everything.
Yeah.
If you keep doing that kind of scare and you keep doing it, no one's going to care when you finally deliver. And that's what this movie kept doing. And I fucking hated it.
I mean, it was just... It's like you knew all of them were gonna die, except for all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those where you just wait.
We called the ending.
Yeah, we were saying
like 20 minutes into it.
Yeah.
You can judge. Like you can judge. That's what I'm saying. Like the death of the characters is a better a judge of time into the movie than it is an actual like.
That's when this guy died.
Yeah, it's like this guy died halfway through it, and then I knew that the movie was getting close to an end because only 3 of them left, so I knew the climax was coming.
But speaking of which, this is one of those movies where like the squad gets picked off one by one. But they didn't start dying until halfway through. We were a solid hour into a movie before anything like that started, and they did have some of the best quotes in the fucking world.
Dr. Carmack's condition is irreversible. Because Carmack's condition is that he's dead.
Speaking of that, is the 4th characterization that happens in the last 20 minutes of the movie. Everyone's bland, everyone's dull,
Except
for
for
the entire film.
Goat cuts himself for every time he takes the Lord's name in vain.
True.
And he becomes
But-
a demon.
Nothing really matters until the
kills
last 20
himself,
minutes
though.
when people start developing characters very rapidly.
Oh, yeah.
Like Carl Urban turns into this really good guy.
Yeah.
Where prior to that, he was a person whose name was the Reaper, and he was super like professional but bland.
I'm coming on this mission.
Even though
And in the last 20 minutes,
somebody died.
Carl
probably
Urban's
died.
character Reaper becomes like the saint, and The Rock becomes this mega douchebag a-hole who's like, we gotta kill all these people, civilians, even if they're uninfected, just to make sure. But you don't get that throughout the rest of the movie. They're just like professionals, and they're doing the job, and they're going by the numbers until
he kills the
very,
kid.
very last bit. And then The Rock becomes crazy evil, and Carl Urban becomes crazy, like, good savior kind of thing. And I get that. They need that to be, spoiler alert, fuck you, that Carl Urban takes the virus so he can become a super soldier to fight his way out.
My sister gives it to him.
And
Yeah,
The
they give him-
Rock
'cause he
gets
gets-
infected.
she
and he
figures
becomes
it
a
out.
monster.
Yeah, she makes the assumption that her brother's good because she, quote, knows her brother.
Yeah,
and then he's about to die because he gets hit in the face with a wheelchair. Segway Man's lower half, actually. It's because she wants to save his life, and apparently when you are injected with this, you regenerate really quickly.
Yeah, it kind of just makes you a super person.
Yeah, like 50 times. He basically turns into Wolverine. And
I wanted to see The Rock give someone the people's elbow.
He just comes down on that monster.
There was the cool part where he made. Well, I guess it really wasn't cool. It was kind of really stupid. You called it out right away. It was the stupid brass knuckles out of it.
I thought it was something The Rock would think was cool. That's why I think it happened.
That was the most exciting part of the movie. That's one of the few things I remember. It's a climactic fist fight between Super Carl Urban and Super The Rock. And I don't remember anything before that and anything
Not the
after
Super
it.
Rock, but Super The Rock.
That's his name.
Yeah, no.
The movie made me very aware The Rock can't say the curse words, or maybe he's just so used to speaking like at this point in his career.
All he did was make speeches in the WWE.
He hadn't moved past The Rock.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying is like
called people Rudy Poos, candy asses.
He delivered all of his lines like The Rock, but he never was allowed to curse in the I mean, you could say Rudy Poo, candy ass, and stuff.
The Rock says he's gonna make your Rudy Poo candy ass famous.
But you can never say like fuck or shit
Yeah.
on TV. So whenever he said them, it was like The Rock giving a speech, and then like the person in you had watched The Rock wrestle, and he was just like, I don't give a fuck, and he does that thing where like his eyebrows go up for some reason, like where he becomes aware of what he's saying, and you're like, The Rock just cursed. It's like, at least that's how I felt watching it, and.
So he looked around before he did it.
Yeah, he was like,
Can I say it?
Fuck.
Oh, fuck!
This is a big fucking gun. That was great,
Can I
Rock.
do that?
This is
Can
a
I do
big...
that? Yeah, Rock. Yeah, it's rated R. Go for it. Guys!
He does that thing where like he talks and his teeth close before his lips come down too. Like it's like two separate actions. Like when he talks and he's just like at the end of his sentence he like bites it. He like bites the end of his sentence.
He's used to that kind of grandiose showmanship from the WWE. Yeah, there were a few setups and payoffs, but they weren't.
My God.
They weren't creative ones.
They thought too hard about the things.
Obvious and ham-fisted. When The Rock's like, "Whoa, I really want this weapon." I'm like, okay, he's gonna go get it. Oh, this woman's hand is lying there. Okay, he's gonna use that to open up the panel because he needs it.
Because he's resourceful and a Marine.
Yeah, and like I said, it was adequately made.
That's part of the problem.
And it was competently made, but it was boring and it was dumb and there wasn't anything novel. There wasn't anything interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was by the book, cash grab. Do you know there's a lot of weird things that happened to Carl Urban, right?
No, what are they?
Yeah. We like to call them Carl Urban legends.
Oh, that's right.
So, for instance, did you know on the set of Star Trek, Carl Urban actually summoned the spirit of DeForest Kelley to help him act? Carl Urban, on the set of The Lord of the Rings, he didn't practice his lines. He was already there for the Battle of Pelennor Fields. He was there, and he showed up, and he said, "Don't worry, I got this. Let me bring all of my Rohirrim friends." Carl Urban one
Holy
time
shit,
killed
that
him.
was him!
Yeah, it was Carl Urban.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Theodin no longer recognized his friend from foe. Not even his own kin.
Oh,
Carl Urban,
That's
he
crazy.
Yeah, he one time he killed a man with a pair of car keys. Guy didn't even have a problem with it because it's Carl Urban.
His real wife's name was actually Eowyn.
He doesn't. No. He doesn't marry Eowyn.
Faramir marries
Faramir marries Eowyn. Please.
Wow, dude. I
God.
can't believe you just did that.
Blew it, they're cousins!
But it's like eating bread. It's like, yeah, I could eat bread. But do you really want to eat bread?
Yeah, and I wouldn't seek out bread.
No.
If bread were there, it's like at a restaurant. When I go to the
it's
Olive
like,
Garden because I hate myself, I'd be like,
Okay, sure, I'll eat some bread.
that's some bread. But I'd never go out and
Yeah, I'd
buy
never
a
be
loaf
like,
of
you
bread.
know what, I'm really wanting bread.
I don't think I've gone out and bought a loaf of bread in my lifetime.
I mean,
To make sandwiches. It's a different
Yeah,
story.
but you would need...
You would need something else with
We're getting
bread.
a weird metaphor. Yeah, you need
aspect-
something else
yeah.
with the bread that is doomed.
Yep.
And I think that's
Yeah,
the best
the-
way I could put it.
and just the act of sitting on it would make it like it was greased up, and then it would go up and squish your organs, and then eventually like kill you by virtue of internal compression.
Yeah.
I swear it was a real thing. I swear.
Yeah,
They're cousins.
They're cousins. Yes.
Aelmir?
He might be AM. Yeah,
God, I'm forgetting
Aemir.
this too. I don't get to call myself a nerd and I forget him. But yeah, he's
you guys are nerds.
yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
I don't know if I could make a staff out of like something if I was drunk as shit. You know?
Well, no, I'm saying that would be your.
Just like
They would
that,
lock
like,
you in a room.
Sticks coming out of it. There's a lot of butt talk recently.
Is it candy?
No, Matt. This isn't candy. What do you like? That's not me. I mean, that's what I'm going to tell my grandchildren. What's the great lyrics of your time? Oh, eat my ass like a cupcake was one of them.
Yeah.
Thanks, history.